So, welcome, Milk. You're the last subject of Team Talk because Lexi did not felt comfortable to be interviewed, and I respect that. Welcome to Team Talk. Finally, how are
Thanks.
you?
Glad to be here. I am excellent. I am taking a lazy day for myself, so not
You
too
must be
shabby.
the only person right now who doesn't hate Mondays at the
Yeah,
moment.
Mondays are like one of my favorite days because okay, so I'm in school now, so usually the assignments that I have to do over the weekend are due by Monday, so I
Mm.
have to do them all Sunday. So Monday's just like free day.
What do you study?
I'm studying how to do as little work as possible and still pass. No, but I'm
It.
actually in uh, on track to be a audio production engineer.
Oh,
So I'm technically in the recording industry, but I'm not sure how far that's going to go. But yeah, it's pretty cool so far. I'm technically still a sophomore by a few hours because I did a lot of schooling like a decade ago, but didn't finish
mm.
it.
So this is your this is to redeem yourself.
Exactly, exactly.
To finally finish. One
Finally,
could
yeah.
make a movie out of the grand those sort of trailers when and now it's time to finish what I've started.
Exactly. I
And
don't know if
then
that'd be like an action movie or just a comedy, probably.
why not both?
There you go.
Boom, Milkand, the movie
Solved it.
right there.
I'll star in it, you make it. We'll both get rich.
Third step profit. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, so I know you gave it away on our private Discord channel, but let's let's uh let's get the elephants out of the room. How did
Uh-oh.
you become Milkand?
Oh, well, this goes back to the early days of the web in like 2002-ish, I think. This is when I
Oh
was actually
wow.
back in college for the first time. Yeah, I am old. Um, so me and my friends would like, watch all these viral videos or whatever, and there was one called Milk and Cereal where these two guys were just like singing a song about cereal and breakfast.
Sounds awesome.
Um, yeah, so it kind of caught on, and then at the same time, I got into a an MMO called Dark Age of Camelot,
Mhm.
and the first character I made on there, I named him Milk and Cereal.
Um
So the name just kind of stuck, and
how
I've been
how
using it
co-
ever
how
since.
come you like we refer to you as Milk.
Yes.
And even though it's a strong competition, I do feel cereal is better than milk.
I
It's more
mean,
tasty.
milk is just one thing, and cereal, like there's a lot of cereal, so I kind of feel like there's an unfair element to that.
So,
But I do love milk. I mean, I'll drink milk with everything, not just cereal. So it
oh,
fits.
how fitting. Yeah. Okay. How come you kept the end part too?
Because I
And
feel
you know
like
it builds up this tension, like milk
it
end,
does. I think
and
you just
there's
answered your own
nothing.
question there, because it's like, oh, what is this guy gonna do? He's milk and awesome. I don't know. It could be anything.
All right, fair enough. So,
It's open-ended. It's up to interpretation.
hmm.
Whatever you want.
So
Milk
you
and anything.
try to encourage people to come up with their own story, get
Yeah,
creative with it.
exactly. And then in the case of like, if I'm playing against someone in like a competitive game, they're like, "Oh, what does that stand for?" And then while they're trying to like think about it, they're distracted, and then I can win. So
Milk and beating your ass. That's what it means. Um,
exactly.
have you watched the show IT Crowd by any chance?
I have seen like some of it. Not, I mean, I wouldn't know like any references. I do know that a lot of people, like it and stuff. So,
Well, it's really British humor, so if you're
oh
into
yeah,
that, you can enjoy it. If not, then I guess it's not for you. Then the reason I bring this up is because there is an episode when one of ID Crowd is about two massive nerds They are
Right up my alley.
stereotypical in two separate ways, and the one who is slightly robotic, it's like the British version of Sheldon from fucking Big Bang Theory. But
Oh yeah.
anyhow, he gets into a show where basically he has to come up with the longest words with random letters and stuff like that. And then they turn this entire thing into something like they play it on streets like it's a hardcore thing, um, like MMA or some fighting game or something like that. It's pretty funny, and there's a secret club where this guy meets some sort of nemesis of him, and then he says something like, he's the enemy proposes a battle, a duel, and then he says something like, "I came here to drink milk and kick ass, and I just drank my milk." And then they go out and play.
That's perfect. I should use that as
It's
like
really.
an
I'm
intro.
going to link you that once
Please
we're
do.
done with this interview. I'm 100% sure it's on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
It's a
It's
great
pretty
scene
hilarious.
in my opinion. Um, so you started to play online in 2002 with the name Milkand. Is that correct then?
Yeah, that's right. And at that time, like I said, I was only playing that one game, the Dark Age of Camelot game.
Mhm.
That was kind of my first foray into online gaming.
And you have been Milkand forever.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Sweet.
Uh,
Can we assume that your favorite genre is MMO then, or that was past Milk era?
yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was actually the only one I really got into. Just because like I do people in real life that were playing it and got me into it and stuff, and
Mm,
we played a lot. But I
makes
like tried
sense.
WoW for a little bit, but I didn't really get into that. Um, as far as favorite genre, I wouldn't say that I have one. I just kind of look for games where I think I can do well in, and then play those. And if I,
Oh, so you're rather an achievement hunter type of person, or just a success ratio hunter?
yeah, pretty much success.
Mm.
Achievements are secondary. I don't really, you know, it's
Do
not that
you
big of
do
a
you
deal.
get frustrated when you don't win, or it's just like, next time?
I can, if I don't remind myself that it's just a game.
Are you a
Sometimes I,
competitive person in
yeah,
general?
I would say that I do have a competitive side. I'd say everybody does, but in games, I try to keep it in check a little bit. But yeah, I would say
I
that.
haven't really seen you as a really competitive person in videos and streams that I've seen. I would be lying if I said I have seen you a lot.
Yeah.
But the stuff I've seen, you always seemed very chilled and cool about winning or losing or whatever is happening.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. It's actually, I have noticed that when I'm streaming, I tend to be aware that I don't want to like flip out and rage too much because it might, freak people out or something.
No,
So it
no.
actually kind of helps that if I'm aware I'm streaming, like, okay, don't take it so seriously. Try to just be entertaining and
I don't know how to break it to you, but I think a lot of people like to see other people rage.
you might be onto something there.
That's my experience at least.
It's a fair point. That is a fair point.
So you started with Milk and MMO, but let's put these things away just a little bit and
Okay.
tell me about your introduction to gaming in general.
Oh, let's see.
What was your first game, maybe that helps you a little bit to refresh your
Now,
memory?
are we talking like PC or can we go like to
What
Nintendo?
whatever you feel as an important starting move towards like the the we all have those experiences like, yes, this is fun. I think I
Hmm.
like video games. I like this. I want to do
Yeah,
this.
absolutely. All right, so a brief history of Milkand games.
Yes.
Um, so when I was a child back in the late 80s, Um, it was probably like early 90s. 'Cause I think I was probably 8 or 9 or 10, somewhere around in there. So my parents didn't really want to get me into like video games, the old like sitting in front of the TV for 12 hours a day and doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they weren't incredibly supportive of buying me games. Now they said that I could save up, and get them. So the first system that I owned was a secondhand Nintendo from this older guy at my dad's church who was selling it, and I bought it for like $35. And then I had like Mario and a couple other games, and I got into that. And I think what drew me into it so much was that my parents didn't really want me to do it as much. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it because they don't, oppositional, defiant.
Mm.
So I got into that, and then I made some friends who had like other gaming systems like Super Nintendo and all that. So I got pretty heavily into that. Um, bought like a Sega somewhere down the road and got into that system. Um, and eventually I made some friends in like middle school and high school who were pretty into online gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they got me into Star Wars games. And I would say technically my first online game that I played was X-Wing versus TIE Fighter
Mm.
by LucasArts, with a couple of guys from school, and that was pretty fun. And then from there, pretty much just a lot of Star Wars games, and that led me into college. At which point I decided to uh, favor gaming instead of classes, and eventually dropped out because of that. That's kind of a dark turn, but
Um,
I'm better now.
are you a heavy Star Wars fan?
Yeah, I that is probably putting it mildly. I'm pretty big into Star Wars and
Great.
Star Trek, incidentally. I don't discriminate between the two.
I finally have someone to ask my questions whenever I have some.
You into
I'm
Star Wars
really
too?
I'm a casual Star Wars uh fan. That I think I can. I don't know. I like Star Wars, but I'm not really into it. Like I'm not having these massive debates of them and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I enjoy them. I honestly like the universe. I like the well, of course, I like and dislike things in them, but my brother is actually my older brother, may I add. Um, he's getting into it more and more for some reason. He just gets more and more involved. And then he says a lot of shit I have zero clue about. And then I try to Google it, and it's impossible to understand.
Just down a rabbit hole of never-ending
Yeah,
uh
it's an endless
stuff. Yeah.
struggle of new and new Wikipedia pages mentioning people, rank, races, galaxies, I don't know, whatever things. Like, oh yeah, that is one of the person of that race from that war that happened then and that. And I'm like, what the fuck are you on? It was a simple question. What's a gray Jedi? That was all I wanted to know. And then it's a fucking encyclopedia in front of me with full
They
of.
give you uh they give you all those links, man. You got to click on them.
I just tried to genuinely understand the thing. Never happened. So looking forward to have someone to ask questions about it.
Yeah, ask away, man.
So
I got a bunch of the books like in storage, all the
oh,
little
nice.
hundreds and hundreds of paperback Star Wars books that are now apparently not canon anymore, and I'm kind of pissed about that.
Oh, did you like the new movie?
Um,
Not the
mm,
I mean the Force Awakens,
oh, yeah.
not Rogue One.
It was all right. I mean, I thought they made that movie better than they made the prequels,
Oh yeah,
which are
absolutely.
kind of just hot garbage. But excuse me. I thought it was too much like the original first Star Wars movie. I didn't think it had enough original
Yeah.
story in it to be super awesome. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I liked watching it and going to see it with a big crowd of the same type of fan. It's pretty fun. But
I gotta be honest. I really hated it.
Hey, I respect that.
Really.
I respect that.
I think it's still better than the prequels.
Yeah.
Just because it was made, by heart. I've seen a Hungarian article about it. I think it put it really well. It said it's a Star Wars movie for Star Wars fans from Star Wars fans,
That's a really
and
good point.
I think it describes really well the movie. But I don't know. To me, it was way too Disney. I think it's just everybody was very jolly and making jokes and stuff like that. And I mean, you can't make a movie about six Han Solo.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't work.
I think I completely agree with that because they made it what you said about too many jokes and like too Disney because
Yeah,
it was almost like it was too self-aware like hey, look at this. It's a Star Wars movie, everyone. Like
yeah.
instead of just trying to make a great movie that happened to be the Star Wars
Also, I
universe.
felt like it's a constant winking at me, like, hey, you see that ship? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that ship. Wink, wink. That ship.
right.
It's hello, Mattisy, by the way.
Oh yeah, hey, Maddie. What's up, man?
Sorry, I got sidetracked. As you can see, I like to discuss things about Star Wars, but again, I'm not those sort of fans who know everything. It's just more of expression or experiences and impressions that I get from the movies mainly.
Yeah, I think you nailed it though. I think you nailed why it was kind of not as great as it could have been.
And that comes from a hardcore fan. Fuck yeah, I'm amazing. All right, so you like science fiction a lot,
Yeah,
as I
yeah.
can see. Um, did you like Mass Effect?
I've never played that.
Really, a sci-fi fan like you?
I don't know. See, I'm kind of weird with stuff. Like, I can be a fan of something, but rather than like a fan of everything sci-fi, I could be just like a sci-fi fan and then I'm a fan of a few different things that happen to be sci-fi.
Mm.
Because someone, I think actually Zeus and I were talking, and he was like, "Hey, like, are you a fan of anime?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I love anime." And then he was like, "Oh, what have you seen?" And I realized I've only seen like two. And I was like, "Well, I mean, yeah, I like it. Yeah, I just haven't seen that many." But
Yeah, but the ones you saw, you liked it.
yeah, it was Dragon Ball Z and Full Metal Alchemist,
Mm.
which were I thought pretty amazing.
I think you don't really like FPS games, though.
You are correct.
That's perhaps why you don't play Mass Effect, though.
Yeah. Oh, right. I guess that is FPS. That's yeah, I didn't even know that. So,
um,
um,
so we roughly covered how you started gaming,
yeah, pretty much just a basic overview there.
and you actually saw gaming growing up, I think.
I
Like
saw it.
you,
Oh,
yeah,
like
yeah,
I
like the new
experienced
consoles
the
and computers and things like that. Because you were a kid at that time when it really exploded
yeah,
and
late
new
80s, early
stuff.
90s kind of got in there.
Well,
Yep.
was it really mind blowing as a kid, or you didn't feel it was that special kind of thing? Just oh yeah, it's getting better and better.
I think when I just first started gaming, I just kind of didn't really understand like how cool it was. I was just like getting into it because it was this new thing I discovered, and like a few of my friends were into it. So I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I mean, I loved it, obviously, but
Mm.
yeah, it's pretty amazing looking back how it's evolved in such a short time. Like, I can't imagine 20 years ago that anybody thought that gaming would be as big or as
Oh hell
such a
yeah!
booming business as it is right now.
Can you imagine those investors who
Yeah.
decided to put money in it, and then their friends go like, "Dude, you are fucking stupid. Just what the hell are you doing with your money?"
Yeah, and what about the people who decided not to? I bet they're kicking themselves pretty hard.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sort of with the Harry Potter author.
Oh yeah?
You don't know this story?
I guess not.
It's not that big of a story. I've just read that the person who wrote the Harry Potter books, she had a really rough time to find someone who actually decided to print it out
Oh, really?
and give it a shot because everyone saw it as a failure in a financial aspect.
Well, now she's like the richest person in the entire universe.
And
So,
then there were 6 books, 8 films, well 9 now,
well, yeah.
and a fucking musical.
Wait, there's a musical?
Yeah, it's about Harry Potter's parents, as far as I know.
Oh, was that the like well, there's another book that came out.
The
I actually
Cursed
have it.
Child, I think it's called.
Oh, okay. And I guess that was that the same thing as like it was just written down as
Perhaps
a
they decided to publish that one as a book too at the end, I
okay.
think. I guess they decided to make a musical about it, and once the people went to see that, because of that, they decided that, all right, now we'll publish it as a book for people who can't make it because
Gotcha.
of
That makes
language
sense.
barriers or something like that. I guess that was the case. I'm not well educated at the matter, so that might not be true, but I think that's the case here.
Good
Anyhow,
enough for me.
I'm getting sidetracked all the time. Sorry about it. When did you decided to? First of all, did you have a YouTube channel first or a Twitch channel to stream?
YouTube. Let me think here. I didn't even know that streaming was a thing. I guess back when I made my YouTube channel, and I think actually, I think I first made my YouTube channel because uh, there was a video that I saw somewhere else and wanted to upload it to YouTube to show like my friends or something.
Hmm.
Because for some reason that couldn't, I don't know, something like that. And so I like downloaded the video from whatever it was. It's like a really crazy car crash or something. Um, but yeah, a little bit later I got into gaming and wanted to try my hand at like editing and uploading because I saw how crazy popular people were getting on YouTube for that, and I thought it was something I could do. Um, didn't have a lot of success at that, but it did make me, kind of into the whole um, scene where you're wanting people to watch you game, and that actually appeals to me.
Hmm.
Um, so the streaming thing kind of is the best of both worlds, where you can have people watch you game, but you don't have to put enough work into it because it's kind of a emphasis on the raw footage that is happening right now, like without the
Yeah,
editing of hours put into editing every video.
yeah. Plus
So that's
rendering.
kind of yeah, that's kind of why I prefer Twitch over YouTube because the
Mm.
live element is pretty cool.
Well, I can tell you that right now that I'm not going to edit anything out of this conversation, so it's going up to YouTube as it is. Whatever happens, happens.
Cool, good
Um,
enough for me.
Now I discovered this thing that when I wanted to look up. First of all, I checked my sub box and I haven't found you for some reason, even though I'm pretty sure when we started talking, I did sub to you. And
Wait, a
then
sub box?
yeah, and I got unsubbed from you for some reason, but that's beside the point. I'm just I guess I like to hear my own voice because I talk a lot. Uh, that is not true actually. Anyway, when I looked for Milkand, I couldn't find you. I couldn't find you, and then I think I found you through Bear's channel as a featured channel,
Um,
probably.
oh, right, right.
And I saw something that is on the screen right now. That it's Cashionens, your
Yes.
something. Now, since it's not 75, you must have set it up.
Yeah, that's actually my email through Gmail. So it's
Oh,
I wanted there was some confusion back when I was trying to set up my channel as like more of a gaming channel instead of just something I had to throw random videos on when I needed it.
mhm.
Because obviously Milkand is going to be like my gaming brand or whatever, but I already had my Gmail set up with that, and I already had like some views on different videos, and rather than going to the trouble, I just kind of renamed the channel Milkand, but it kept the same username as I had before.
Hmm.
So that's that. No particular
isn't it a
reason. It's just
problem that we gave this away?
maybe, but we'll see.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine, man. Like I have it, I promote it myself on like the Twitch streams and everything, and I'm not expecting any issues. So
I don't take responsibility for all the dick pics that you get, by the way.
that's cool, man. No problem.
Oh, you like
No
those?
problem at all. No, not
Okay,
particularly.
I'm gonna stop being a dick here. You play on PC and Xbox, is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
What was the reason you chose Xbox or PlayStation? Because that's a mass debate until the end of time.
The old console wars. Pure and simple. It's just because my friends wanted to game on Xbox back when we were all kind of deciding what console to go with. And there's one guy that doesn't really play a lot anymore, but he had Xbox, and so well, I guess we'll all get Xbox. So
well, it's logical.
Yeah,
makes sense. Would you?
And actually, now that I'm sorry, what?
Would you? I was just going to ask that if you miss like any PS games, or you would consider getting a PlayStation just for have all the opportunity for gaming.
Honestly, probably not, because like I said, I don't like get into like a whole lot of games. I just prefer to focus on a few and get like super into those. So like exclusives or like the hottest current titles isn't that big of a deal to me right now, and so it just really depends on what my friends are playing, to be honest.
Makes sense. It's interesting because I know and I can feel that you have this affection for games.
Yeah.
But when I ask you these questions, usually people have some sort of longer or deeper stories behind it, and then you just shrug and I don't know, man. It's just the way it is. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not what I'm saying. It's really.
No, I could tell you want to say it, but I'll just say it. I'm super boring. I get it.
No, that's not what I. It's not what I fucking meant.
But yeah, I just like to focus on a few things rather than try to play every game that comes out. So yeah, and like I said, I'm basically shit at FPS. Oh, and that is a lot of games. That is a huge category. So
what do you have a favorite game?
Yes, I do have a favorite game.
What it is?
And it is Rocket League.
It combines two things you're absolutely not interested in, cars and soccer, and the combined version is something you enjoy.
It's magic, man. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, I'll tell you what, as fuck it, I'm gonna call it football because it's fucking football. The thing about Rocket League that I've realized once is that if you look at footballers' shoes, they kind of resemble the shape of a car.
Huh. I never thought about that before.
So if you look at Rocket League, it's like having actually one shoe going around on little wheels. And the physics heavily rely on this, I think.
So wouldn't it be like a roller skate?
I don't know.
Like a soccer shoe with roller skate wheels.
Yeah, kinda.
I mean, I would love to play football. I would play football.
You can call it whatever you want, man.
I would do that.
You would try real life Rocket League?
Oh, absolutely. Like not with cars, but
Oh, then the little toy cars that you can control with a controller or something.
Oh yeah, remote control cars. That would be awesome. I would do that.
That would be actually amazing. That sounds great.
I imagine it would be like, have you seen those shows? I don't know if they're still happening, but there's like Robot Wars where
vaguely.
They like create these little kind of car. I don't know if I call them cars, but they're technically motorized vehicles and they have to go around and smash their opponents in like a cage.
Yeah.
I imagine that is what, that's probably like a close resemblance to what would happen.
That would be amazing. I would fucking pay for it to watch that live.
Yeah, absolutely,
to have
man.
that element and also the Rocket League thing. So you could either go for the kill or the goals.
Hey, there's demolitions in Rocket League, so it's already there.
Yeah, but it's like, I lose 10 seconds of gameplay while
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a good strategy to take everyone out and then just score a goal for the open goal.
Yeah, a lot of people hate it. They get so mad when you demo them.
Well, I mean, you can see why it is annoying, though.
Yeah. Oh, I get annoyed, but then I'm like, all right, that was, I can accept that was a good play on your part. I will begrudgingly congratulate you.
Revenge. What's the thing in Rocket League that really hooked you up?
I think what it is, so I've never played it, so I don't speak from experience, but in games like FIFA, is that how you pronounce it?
No, I think it's FIFA.
FIFA?
Yeah.
FIFA? Okay. So
yeah,
I
because
guess,
it's international with the I.
right.
Sorry, continue.
So like if you want to pass the ball,
Yeah.
you just like press the pass button and it passes it to somebody, right? Is that how it goes?
Kinda,
So
yeah.
So in Rocket League, you have to you control your car absolutely. Like you have to turn it a certain way, flip a certain way, and hit the ball a certain way if you want to put the ball somewhere on purpose. And the fact that it's based 100% on those physics means that there's like an unlimited potential for skill. There's like no peak that you can reach. There's always like a way to get better at the game.
Yeah.
And it just feels like amazing when you practice and like try so hard to do something and you finally like achieve something like that you've been trying to do, and it just feels incredible. And that feeling has kept me coming back for like over 1,000 hours.
Okay, so again, the aspect of the thing that it's a heavily skill-based game.
Right. And it's something that, when I started playing, of course, I was crap like everybody is. And, but then you can really, it's an immediate feedback when you start getting better. You can like see how better you're getting in the game. It's very in your face. So it's just a really, like a lot of video games hook you in by giving you rewards. And I feel like that's something that Rocket League does very well, just by the fact that you can get better at it.
Yeah. Have you played it with keyboards?
No, not at all. Yeah, we already had an Xbox, I guess, when I got it. And so luckily Windows takes Xbox controllers out of the box. So I have never played it on keyboard.
Don't do it. That's all I can say to you.
Oh, I trust you. Now there's people in the Rocket League forums that are, they're saying, hey, don't do the keyboard. I'm champion. I've made it, I've made it up in the higher ranks with keyboard. And I'm like, well, yeah, but why?
Well, I can tell you that much that I really like football/soccer. And everybody told me that, like, whoa, it's such an adrenaline rush and it's fun and the matches are quick and fun and you should try it out. And then I bought the game actually on Steam, and nobody fucking told me to not play if you don't have a controller, because I don't have consoles at all. So I was like, okay, let's try it out. And I was fucking stuck in the tutorial thing a few times because, first of all, I'm shit at the game, obviously, because I have no experience in it. That was just fucking terrible, really. And then I asked for refunds, and I haven't touched that thing ever again.
Fair enough.
I'm not saying it's a bad game.
Oh no.
If a lot of people are enjoying as they are, it should be considered a good game. So it is a good game.
Clearly doing something right, but it's not. It doesn't say you have to enjoy it.
They should add flashing alert lines like "Don't buy it without a controller. Don't play it."
There's definitely like a higher learning curve with that, I would imagine. But
It's
yeah, that's fair
just,
enough. I
it's
mean,
just terrible,
when
man.
you say you got stuck in the tutorials, I'm assuming that it was just like so hard to control that you couldn't advance and like do what it was telling you to do.
There was one particular thing. I think you can like double jump or something like that,
Oh, yeah.
and it didn't register correctly. I don't know what was the problem, but there was always just a tiny little bit of air between the objective and my car, and I couldn't get it for the
Uh,
love of my life. And then somehow, eventually, after like 20 minutes of trying, can you imagine playing? Well, playing, just trying to do that shit for like 20 minutes. It doesn't
that must have been
sound
frustrating.
fun, is it?
No, not at all. But
Yeah.
yeah, the it's definitely made for control. I think they even pop up a message when you launch the game. It's like something about it's best played with a controller, you know, if you have
Well,
that
once
option.
I already bought it, it doesn't really
Right.
help, does it?
Yeah.
It does say, and I actually looked up, the reviews and stuff like that to decide whether to buy it or not without a controller. And a lot of people said like, oh yeah, it's much better with a controller, but it's alright with keyboards. It's
Right.
not. It's not alright. Or I'm extremely bad. That's a high possibility because I'm not really good at games, but still, that game and fucking Dark Souls, don't buy it without controllers. You're gonna wanna kill yourself.
Oh wow. Yeah, I've heard stories about Dark Souls being ridiculously hard. I don't even want to touch that one.
I think it could be a fun one, but I'm going to just let it be. Most likely.
Fair enough.
It's just because I'm really into medieval stuff and I like the battle system in it. And
Oh
it
yeah.
actually involves a lot of skill as well. A lot of timing and skill.
Have you this is kind of a tangent, but have you seen any YouTube videos of people playing it with like uh, random controllers? Like there was one guy that played it with the like the guitar from Rock Band.
Oh, no, I haven't. Why would you do that?
I know it's ridiculous, and apparently they're actually good at it too. It's like just giving yourself an extra challenge for for laughs or whatever. But
Oh, I have the hardest possible game. Let's make it more challenging. Okay, don't go there. Let's get back to you. Fucking
okay.
sidetrack. Um, what kind of content do you watch if you watch content on YouTube or Twitch?
Oh, well, obviously a lot of Rocket League videos. That's actually I don't want to harp on it, but part of the like whole getting better thing is watching pros play and trying to take
Mm.
away stuff from that. So that's a lot.
Oh, but
Um,
then you sort of educate yourself to get
yeah,
tips and tricks from other peers.
exactly.
Mm.
Long story
Makes
short,
sense.
Rocket League has taken over my life. Please and help. Um, but let's see, what else do I watch? You know what? I'm gonna pull up YouTube real quick and check my history because I have no clue.
It's all right. I'm gonna ask you something in the meantime. Do you prefer um, rather louder, all over the place sort of content creators, or more like yourself, who are not that loud and chilled and relaxed and more of a sophisticated? Let's just put
Wow,
it that way. I don't know
I like that
because
word.
I haven't seen people like. Can you imagine someone who creates content and then gets like angry or frustrated and just go, fuck, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll use an example that everybody knows, like PewDiePie.
Hmm.
I don't go for that kind of stuff. It's so I don't know. I don't want to say attention whore because maybe, but I guess that's kind of the point of trying to get views and monetization
We are
from
talking about the content, not the guy. So
yeah, fair enough. I guess content-wise, I prefer more of my own style. I guess that makes sense. I mean, I try to emulate the stuff I prefer. But yeah, the all over the place stuff. Sometimes um, there's a channel that I watch called, is it Game Theory? I think that's one.
Yeah.
Uh, where they like look at different video game stuff and like little known facts and details that you might
Yeah.
not have thought of. And they kind of have that style where they kind of bounce around and put all these graphics up and do some fast cuts to make them talk really fast. And I
Oh,
enjoy
tell
that
me about it.
sometimes. But in general, I would say I prefer a more controlled approach, sophisticated, as you say.
That was a terrible
So
use of words, but
I like it. I'm stealing it. I'm just gonna call
okay.
myself that
It's
from now on.
yours.
Thanks.
It's yours to command. Um, so you only watch video game content.
Mostly, yeah. Ooh, and I also like tutorials. I like tutorial videos on stuff, mostly like about like various computer software or hardware
Mm.
that I'm looking into or whatever, like OBS stuff or audio setups, things like that. But
Are
yeah,
you like a computer geek? Not in a mean way, just in general. I'm trying to make it as an easy question. Like I guess
um,
you are into technology and
yeah. I mean, I
computers.
would call myself a computer geek. I have no shame in that. I've built three, I think, over the years for myself.
Mm.
Various upgrades and whatnot. But I like to problem solve and not that I'm an expert, but if somebody has like an issue, I'll like get into it and like research around and do all this stuff and try to help them with it. So I
Mm.
enjoy that part.
You gonna enjoy the time with Zeus then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you like virtual reality, the
I would
VR
have to
games?
actually experience it to know that for sure. I do love the concept. I don't think it is nearly as refined as it could be. I think in a few years we're going to see some amazing like advancements there, but
Do you think it
yeah.
will become a common thing, like in the gamer community, to everyone has like Vive or whatever VR set?
I think that's what most people expect. I think it's going to have to come down in price because right now it's still pretty high end. But yeah, I'd say give it, a few years, maybe even like 5 years. I would say it's going to start to become a lot more commonplace.
I think they have. If they can resolve two issues, then it can be a real hit.
Oh man, that
One
would
of
be
it,
insane.
is the cost.
Yeah.
It's for rich kids for now, and the other thing is a lot of people get dizzy and motion sickness.
Oh, right, right.
So
Yeah,
you can't really get into a game when you constantly want to vomit because of using the VR headset.
yeah, that would be an issue. I don't even know if there's um any way that they're thinking about to like reduce that. Or I don't, it's just something that you can't fix, or
I
I don't
think
really.
it's one of those things that will you have to take that consequence of using a VR.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But can you imagine playing Rocket League with a
Oh my
VR?
gosh. I can imagine it, but I don't want to because I might get too excited and die.
Don't worry, I would be disappointed if they didn't do it. Although I'm already disappointed at the hockey game mode.
I think it would make a lot of people sick, but it would be worth it.
I think people would try it out.
I would definitely try it out if I had the
Yeah,
money
see,
and you know,
it makes
that's
sense. But
that's
it looks like they only do it for 3D puzzle games, like first person puzzle games and first person shooters so far.
right. I mean, it makes the most sense because that's sort of what you're doing
Oh yeah,
is being
yeah,
a
of
first
course.
person character.
Yeah.
So now I would love I haven't mentioned this yet, but I used to, well, I still am. Portal 2 is probably like my second favorite game of all time. And
Oh, that messes with my brain.
Yeah, I just recently overtook it in hours with Rocket League, so that's a
Mm.
thing. But I would love to play that in VR. I think that would be amazing. I mean, it would. I think it kind of already makes me a little nauseous sometimes. So, with the addition of VR, that's the thing. But
If you could make a game, what would it be? What would you mix
oh,
together? Maybe
oh man. Oh, let's see. Um, if I could make a game.
Rocket League with portals.
Holy crap. Wow.
You would love that, wouldn't you?
That is the dream. I don't even know how that
But
would
I
work.
don't
Like
want to.
you,
I keep answering my own questions. Sorry.
I mean, honestly, you read my mind. I didn't want to say that because I've already talked about those two games, but man, I kind
But
of. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just thinking that. Well, I put them together because we were just talking about it as well. But it's not like,
Right.
oh, if I could make a game, I would definitely do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I would do that. Hmm. I also like platform games sometimes. Little
Mm,
platformers, kind of retro styled, like, Mario or anything
yeah.
in that vein. Like you were talking about earlier, I think you mentioned Bloody Trapland.
Bloody
That's
Crapland.
it's actually I love that game. I get mad at it really, really quickly too, but I think it's fun because
A
you
lot of people. That's the point of that game to
it's right there in the
make you
name.
want to murder everyone like around you.
Exactly. And the fact that you can kill your friends is just a bonus.
But there are other game modes, isn't it? I think when
Yeah.
it's about the kill, like who can kill the others the most time and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fun. But I think I might, after the whole Rocket League Portal thing, I think I might try to do something with a platformer if I could,
Mm.
if I was a game maker.
Um, one thing you mentioned struck my mind a little bit. You said that you like the aspect of resolving issues and finding solutions to things.
Yeah, I like problem solving.
So do you like puzzle games where
Oh,
you
absolutely.
essentially do that?
Yeah, those are some of my favorite. I could play those for hours. If I found a new puzzle game that I like, I'll just sit down and play it through like until I
Mm.
beat it.
What
Now
about strategy games?
that is a hit or miss for me. Like I used to
Mm.
back in the day. I can't believe I didn't remember this, but one of the first games I got into back in like the mid '90s was Warcraft
Oops,
2,
sorry. Uh-huh.
and I played that with my friends where you couldn't. It was actually before BattleNet,
Yeah.
so what you had to do was dial each other's modems and like
Yeah,
directly
yeah, yeah.
connect. And
All
that
the
was
hard work for that shit.
that was a bitch because you'd like call your friend and then their parents would pick up the phone and ruin it, and you had to like redo it, and it's like
Mm.
um what was the question? Oh, strategy games, right.
Yeah,
So
just in general.
that's probably the deepest strategy game I've played. I mean, I don't
Mm.
like I watched some videos of uh, like some top tier StarCraft players, and they do
Mm.
things so fast and crazy that I'm like,
That's
what's the point of
fucking stupid. I'm
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 like, what's the point
sorry.
of me playing a game like that
Yeah, exactly.
if these
Oh,
people
thank God.
exist?
Finally someone. I think I've read an article once about it which said something like this is gonna sound fucking terrible, but they had statistics about pro players.
Yeah.
They push 4 buttons in a second.
Wow. That's ridiculous.
They just memorize all the hotkeys for certain things, which is
Right.
actually kind of essential. Like I really like StarCraft, the
Oh yeah.
first one. The second one is alright and has some some good things in them, some nice thoughts into it, and some new units and stuff like that. But for me, nothing can really compete with the old thing. Um, And I forgot what I was going. Oh yeah, yeah, and to play right, like if you want to get good, not like the pro player, on humanitarian good, but just the normal good, then you have
Yeah.
to remember a few of those hotkeys, and it helps a lot. Saves you a lot of time instead of clicking. You've been there with Warcraft 2.
I've been there where I realized that I should use the hotkeys, but the
Yeah.
important thing to note is that I never could really get the hang of it. And so I
Mm.
was like a point and clicker, like all the way. And that, you
Oh.
know, that's not going to be viable.
The thing is, I asked you about strategy games because in some way you try to like fix the issue in those two. Well, if it's a good one and not like just build the strongest units and go and you win. Like Warcraft 3. That's a shit game. I really hated it. But what I like in strategy games is that you have an issue, like you don't have one particular resource type or something like that, and then you have to come up with ideas to resolve the issue.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, if you're running low on some resources and you got to decide like which to try to do first or something like that. Just a basic example, I guess, but
Yeah.
I totally
Uh,
get that.
I think good strategy games should make you think about your actions. Like you obviously will have a favorite move or a favorite strategy, but
Yeah.
I think a good game will put you out of your comfort zone and will try to force you to come up with new strategies.
I think
Um,
you're right.
how about, because to me it seems like you're one of those gamers who mostly like to think through directions.
Yeah, I would
Um,
say that, and that's probably one of the reasons I despise. Well, not despise, but don't really favor FPSs over more slow-paced games because I like to think about it
mhm.
instead of it just being a matter of reaction time or like aiming precision or whatever. But
Yeah.
I much prefer games. That's why I like Portal 2 so much because you can sit there forever, think
Oh
about
yeah,
it,
yeah.
and then
There's
go.
there's not a fucking timer at your neck to like
Exactly.
hurry on. You have 5 minutes.
Yep, that's about it. That is exactly right.
What about sports games?
Yeah, I don't really
Nobody ever
like.
mentioned them in these chats, and you are the first one who said FIFA. So
Yeah, it's because a lot of players try to compare Rocket League to it a lot, so I just kind of had that in my head. But um, I like NBA Jam. That's always a classic favorite, and they recently made it backwards compatible with the Xbox 360 version.
oh,
So I got that. I think I streamed it one night and put a clip up on YouTube of it. But I haven't played it a whole lot since then. But it's always a fun game. Um, I used to play like NFL Blitz. See, I'm more into like the arcadey, not super realistic sports games, but still
mm,
technically playing a sport.
interesting.
But
I
if it
actually
could,
never played NFL. I
oh,
can't even imagine how American football works in a video game.
yeah.
It seems so random. I know the a few strategies of it, but like how do you implement it into a game?
You know, I wouldn't call it strategic as much as just like, mm, I mean, granted, I'm not the biggest football fan at all. I don't really, or sorry, American football. I'll have to
It's all,
distinguish that.
just don't worry about it, man.
Um, but yeah, I would definitely put football games like FIFA above that in strategy. I mean, the game I was talking about, NFL Blitz. I mean, you pick a play and run it and hope you succeed.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just pretty. Like I said, it's arcadey. It's not really super skill based, but
Do you like cars or car games though? We covered the
yeah,
sport aspects of Rocket League, but I never actually asked you about the car part.
yeah. Actually, I play Forza. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but
Yeah, I know the title.
yeah, we started me and my friends on Xbox played Forza Horizon 2, and then when 3 came out, they actually released it on PC, and I finally had a PC good enough to like run such games. So yeah, it's pretty fun. The bad thing is if I play that and Rocket League sort of in the same day, it kind of screws me up because the cars handle so differently.
Yeah, I could imagine.
But
Also,
yeah, the
going in
game's
Forza, like, oh, there's a ball. Let's hit it. Let's hit it.
exactly. And like I try to jump in Forza and there's no jump, so I'm like, what? What's happening?
Oh yeah, and then just horribly
But
crash your car.
yeah, it's
Sounds
pretty fun.
lovely.
I like racing games a lot, actually.
Mm. Well, they are competitive and skill based.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm horrible at them. It's a tragedy.
At what?
uh, you should never play any car racing game with me. I don't have the good mindset of those games.
Hey, I just try to like, get ahead of other cars. That's the strategy right there.
Yeah, but my brain works like cars. You want to go fast, so why would you brake? And then there's
Yeah, it's like
the first, the first big curve, and then explosion, and then I lose. That's pretty much my experience with car racing games. It's not
man, that
their
would be
fault.
me. I mean, that would totally be me if Forza didn't like literally put lines on the ground to tell you when to use the brakes.
Okay. Well,
So
that
yeah, there's
helps.
a pretty big handicap going on there. So
It's sort of like the little sides wheels on the tricycle, sort of bicycles. When you're a small kid and you try to learn how to ride a bicycle, and you add
exactly.
those little wheels.
They're just guidelines, There's no shame in that.
Yeah.
And so what if you still use them when you're in your 30s? I'm not gonna judge you.
Well, essentially, it's about having fun.
Exactly.
It's a question of how you
Enjoy.
have fun with it.
If you're enjoying yourself, don't let anybody tell you different. That's what I'm saying.
Do you consider yourself a gamer?
Yes, I would identify as a gamer.
How would you describe what is a gamer? How would you define that?
Someone for whom video games are a priority. I mean, if you just like, if you if you like intentionally sit down and say, okay, I'm gonna play video games for a bit, and like, if you've ever sacrificed something else for a video game, or if you've ever like, if it's ever like a really important priority, say you're a hardcore gamer. I mean, you can be a casual gamer, that's fine. If you like only play when one of your friends play, or like once in a blue moon, there's different levels, but I would say I'm a pretty hardcore gamer.
Okay. Have you had arguments with essentials or who's a gamer and who's not? Because I have seen in my life some really juicy arguments between people like, oh, you're not even a real gamer if, and then just something random.
I
Have
don't
you
know
had
about that.
those?
I mean, I don't think that it's important to try to classify someone and like, I think they call it gatekeeping when like really hardcore fans of something will sort of like, I don't know if they do it intentionally, but they'll try to be kind of elitist about someone else not being as hardcore into something as they are, and like they won't like, they'll feel like their territory is being encroached or something if like, I don't really care about all that. I mean, like you said, it's like it's all about having fun, and you do you. I mean, if you want to call yourself a gamer, then that's good enough for me.
Do you consider games as a piece of art, or it's just something to pass the time with?
Absolutely. I mean, I guess it kind of depends. I mean, there's probably some games where not a whole lot of effort has been put into the artistic side of things. But I feel like as long as somebody is creating something with, emotional investment, if they have passion for it, I mean, it can be classified as art for sure. Not just like the literal like graphics, but even just the way like certain elements interact with you. Like, you know, I think Rocket League is art based on the fact that the way they made the physics work is just like out of this world. It's amazing.
So can we say that the most important thing in games for you is the gameplay itself
Oh yeah, I mean 100%. I've
over
always said
like
that.
story or something like that?
I would even say story takes a backseat to gameplay. Like, if you make a game enjoyable to play, people are going to come back to it and recommend it. Like, it doesn't matter how fancy it looks. I mean, it doesn't matter what your characters say, if they even say anything, if you have characters. For me, it's just all about the gameplay.
What was the absolute worst game you've ever touched?
Oh God. Um,
I'm gonna bring that rage out of you eventually.
I'll get there. I just might take a while. Shoot, I don't even know if I want to go back. Yes, or like a computer game, or the worst game I've played. That is a good question. Man, I might have to postpone that answer and think about it and get back to you because I can't even think about worst games I've played right now.
It's alright. It's just I usually write on the answers to ask the next question, so I have to think. I'm buying myself some time to think about a better question, because while you answer, the new questions pop up in my mind. I like to make these interviews this way rather than just write down some questions which then keep backtracking where we were instead
Right.
of
Yeah, I
going
feel
on.
you. It's good to let it develop naturally instead of just a forced script. So
Yeah. Okay, so here's one that's I think it's interesting. You have a fiance. Congrats,
yes.
first of all.
Oh, thanks.
I
Thank you.
don't know if I probably said it already, but just to make
Yeah.
sure. Do you play games with her, or she's not into it at all?
Well, here's a fun fact. That game that I mentioned, Dark Age of Camelot, is where we met.
Oh, neat.
Yep. So yeah, she's definitely a gamer. Not quite as hardcore as I am. She games sometimes and she likes specific games, but we haven't really played a whole lot together. I mean, since we met in that other game, like 15 years ago. Um, but yeah, she likes Doom. She got that for the Xbox. She likes Minecraft. We actually do play Minecraft sometimes, like once every few months, maybe we'll sit down and play that. But oh, and actually, right now she's pretty heavily into World of Warcraft. So we like to go to our little separate corners of the basement and play our. She plays WoW and I play Rocket League. We got a nice little balance worked out there.
It's quite interesting that you met through a game, and then you play completely different games.
Yeah, I mean, pretty cool. Like we met, like I said, that was back in. It must have been about 2007. I think we started. I mean, just as friends.
Oh
'Cause I
boy,
think she was
I
dating
hope you are
somebody at the
right,
time.
or that she will never listen to this because you're in big trouble.
Oh, I'm better with dates, so that's not going to be an issue. But yeah, we probably about 2007 we met with quotes around that online. And then fast forward to about 2012, she had lived pretty far away, but then she had moved to about 2 hours away. So we ended up meeting in real life, and the rest is history.
Very nicely put. I was actually about to ask, but I guess I cannot get the answer for that. If she would beat you in any game or not. But you guys don't play the same game, so we'll never know.
Yeah. Let me. I mean, if we played Doom together, she would probably beat me. Because okay. She did used to play CS, Counter-Strike, competitively.
Oh,
So she's probably a lot better than I am at first-person shooters, actually.
that's not. That doesn't sound like a good place to be honest.
Yeah, she hasn't done that in a long time. This was back in like I would say around when it first came out. So I don't think we even knew each other when she did that. But
Mm. Okay, I don't want to, get nosy and get into your relationship and stuff like that. It's just something that
no, that's fine.
was always interesting to me, how people cope with their significant other. Because
Oh yeah.
sometimes people get together where one is really into gaming and one could not give a shit even if they tried their best.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah,
And
I mean,
then
that's one of the reasons
there's
that I like that I like the relationship. So I'm
yeah.
like, hey, she's totally into gaming. She accepts it. Win-win, man.
Yeah, sounds fun. Sounds awesome. Um,
Yep, I'm pretty lucky. I'm a lucky guy.
I cannot imagine couples where both of them are into gaming and competitive. That
Yeah, if
sounds an unpleasant place to be.
it might create a little explosiveness,
Or,
but
those kind of situations like, okay, Rocket League, one-on-one, loser do the dishes.
there you go. But
I
maybe
have
actually, maybe I'm
gone.
glad she doesn't play in that case because, might be dangerous for me doing all these dishes.
I mean, as long as you guys don't play Doom, you should be fine. I actually have a friend who did it with his parents. They still live together due to financial issues.
Yeah.
But they often do it like there's a pub literally next to them, and they were like nobody wanted to make dinner, and they went to the pub like fuck it, the loser will make the dinner, and they played darts.
Very nice. Very nice.
It's fantastic. It's one of my favorite stories.
It's a good way to resolve stuff, honestly.
Yeah, and well, it should be looking good for you because it's skill based. Do you like pub sports like pool and darts, maybe bowling, those kind of things?
Yeah, absolutely. I would probably place those as far as playing them and maybe watching. I would say I like those better than just the physical stuff, like basketball, football,
So
but
if I ever go to America, um, can I count on you that you take me to play one of those and watch a hockey game?
absolutely. We have a hockey team here. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, and we have a
Oh,
hockey team.
okay.
So, yeah, totally. You ever make it down here, we will go to a hockey game.
Only a question of years. I have this big dream of one day uh, save up some money and go there and just try to meet as many people as possible that I know online.
That would be cool, man. I
That
really
would
hope
be
you get to do
cool.
that.
But I don't know if you're aware of it, but it's a fucking huge place.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
weird to think about, like, just the pure fact that we as Europeans always think about America as a country, whereas the entire uh fucking it's a continent with Canada and Mexico and well, Central America would, I don't know, where do you put those guys, by the way?
What, Central America?
Yeah.
Uh, just I don't know. I guess we just call it Central America.
Because here it's
You don't
like
need.
there is North America and South America and the weird shit between them, and that's
The little,
basically your idea as a European of them.
just a land bridge there between. No,
And
no
they don't
disrespect.
belong any of those places. They're just there.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we don't hear nearly as much talk about as like Mexico or Canada, but I think they just get kind of lumped in with the not our problem.
So it's weird as a European to think about a country that is basically a continent itself.
Yeah, I guess the whole
I
like
know
50
me
states
no
thing is a little different than
I mean no offense to Canada or anything like that. It's just I'm talking about sizes.
right, right.
Just
But
wanted to
yeah,
clarify in case anyone finds it. And what the fuck did you just say? because, well, internet. Have you found your most hated game, or you completely forgot about finding it? Well, I guess you didn't have that bad of an experience then.
I was thinking, I mean, it kind of depends on what you mean by worst game, because, I mean, do you mean like, what is the point of this game? Like, what were they thinking when they made this? Or were you thinking like really poorly made gameplay? Or
Mm,
what?
well, to me, like to hate a game, it hatred itself, it's a really heavy feeling.
It
Because
is.
if you come across, if you find a game that you don't like, you will most likely be neutral to it, and then you find yourself getting bored and not entertained, and then just leave it be, I think.
Yeah.
But to have such a huge emotional breakdown to actually hate a game, it has to be really shit.
I don't know if I'm really gonna have an answer for hate, but when you were just talking about kind of the way you feel about a blah game, I guess. I mean, I might get some flack for saying this, but the Halo series to me, I've never understood what the fascination is with that, because I've tried to play it, multiple times, and I just cannot keep playing. I'm like, this is like, I can't really see the point. I'm not skilled at it. I don't understand what the big deal is.
Mhm.
So if I have to give you an answer about a game that I just don't at all enjoy, it would probably be the Halo series.
Yeah, but it's also an FPS game.
Exactly, exactly. And I mean, that's kind of a given, that would be a category if I'm talking about games I don't like.
I
But
guess you are good at researching before trying a game.
I would call that accurate. Because I
Because
just don't.
most people can think of 2 or 3 games, I think, like when they go like, oh yeah, I really hated that one, or that was really frustrating, or something like that, you know? And
Yeah, I
you
mean, if I
just
don't
struggled to give me an answer.
honestly, like, if I don't like a game, I'll know that pretty quick after I start it, and I'll just put it down and completely forget about it. And
Mm.
like, I don't know, I just don't have. I won't be like, well, I'll play through it and see if I like it at the end. No, I'm not gonna do that. I don't have the patience.
So you either get really into a game or just leave it forever.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Mm.
That is
There is no in between.
no.
There is no, oh, that part is cool, that part is boring, but let's carry on. It's just, if it's not good enough, fuck it.
Pretty much no gray area.
Interesting. That's not a common trait, I think.
Well,
I think a
that's
lot of
me.
people will
That's
try to convince themselves that,
And
okay,
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
let's
I
give
respect
this.
that.
Oh no, I'm not talking about better or worse options, just different mindsets.
Yeah,
So, what sort
totally.
of content should we expect from you, sir, in the future?
A lot of Rocket League and the odd other game when I feel like taking a break from that. That is what my content is based around primarily. I feel like it's something that I'm moderately decent at, and I can. Well, what I feel like it lends itself to is somebody who's watching the game, even if they've never played it before, they can follow it, and because it's like basically soccer with cars, and you
Mhm.
know what the person's trying to do. I just feel like it's a really easy game to entertain with.
Yeah, it looks fun, actually. Maybe a little bit sometimes a little bit frustrating. You know,
Oh
when
yeah,
when you see what's the plan, and then just a tiny little bit off, and
yeah.
then it keeps
Oh,
happening, and it's like, just hit the fucking ball. I mean,
yeah.
I've been there. I know it's hard to do, but I think it.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine a video where the person who plays never hits the ball?
I don't have to imagine that because that is me at at various
That's a
points
lie.
along my career. Oh no, it is not, I assure you. I could
Uh,
go back through my stream archives and find several stretches of games where I was just absolute shite.
what is your let's call it a position. What is your favorite position in Rocket League? Because in these sort of games, it often comes down to team effort.
Yeah.
And as a kid who played a lot of soccer in real life, there's always that one fucking kid on the playground who just stands in front of the opponent's goal and be like, "Hey, pass to me. I'm free. There's no defender on me. I can do it. Pass to me." Even though if you don't have the fucking ball, and then
Oh man.
they score 5 goals or something, we lose 20-5, but he scored that 5, and then he goes home and like, I carried the team. I was the
Wow.
best. I scored 5 goals, and everybody else just goes like, let's never be in the same team with that dude.
Man, you just described the nightmare of Rocket League pretty much.
I
That's like
I have to say I assumed.
I mean that's like identical. I mean, you get people that just have no concept of team play, and it's like, dude, it's not you against everyone else, you know. But as far as your question, I would say I like to kind of there's a problem with a lot of people that play who they just are used to the mechanics of a lot of other games where you just go as fast as you can, as hard as you can, and try to do the thing that you're
Yeah,
meant to do, which is hit the ball. And that's not really the point. You have to like patiently set up good plays, like try to draw out the defense, and then, you know, take a shot when you think it's a good shot. And I like to just sit back and sort of let everybody else deal with the carnage. And then when the ball rolls out, just kind of punch it down where I think it should go.
yeah.
So that's probably my general strategy when
So you prefer to be let's call let's the
like a cleanup,
playmaker,
the
like
cleanup crew.
the cleanup crew. Hmm.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
You're the defense guy then, who plays from defense to.
Pretty much. I mean, where I
Hmm.
am at now with the ranking, like it's kind of just starting to be um, sort of a capable offensive team play game,
Hmm.
whereas sort of until this point, it's been more about, like I said, sitting back and waiting until you have a good opportunity to hit it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's I'm starting to get to the point where I'm meeting people that can pass the ball and recognize the opportunities and stuff like that. So
Yeah. It's nice, and the way I described that playground thing was not just because the experience I had, but also I saw some people playing the game, and it's usually everybody just going mental and just straight for the ball. Doesn't matter who hits it,
that's
just someone hit it for fuck's sake, and then
yeah.
everyone goes after it. It's just terrible to watch.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just I'm getting
And then
triggered just sitting here
usually
listening to you
there's
describe it.
there's like 6 cars doing that, and then there's one dude just chilling in the goal. Like you know what, guys, just do your thing. I'm gonna save a ball if it comes here, and then everybody will be happy. I'm gonna feel like a valuable part of the team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, when
that
I'm
that's
streaming,
that's pretty
when I'm
much putting like if you put people in a soccer field to play soccer for the first time, the exact same thing will happen. I guarantee you that.
I would never doubt that. I mean, if I'm streaming, I'll frequently find myself because I try to like keep talking,
Yeah.
and I'll frequently find myself being like, "All right, I think I'll go. Oh, okay, they've got it. I'll just sit back." It's like
Do you
just
need
sit
to
back, wait.
concentrate on the game? Like, are you better in general if you just talk and then you, um, I don't know how to put it. Like, you don't concentrate on the game, but on what you say, but you're still
Hmm.
playing.
You
Or
know,
you play better when you talk less or don't talk and concentrate really heavily on the game.
it's little. complex, I think, because on one hand, um, obviously there's like a focus element. If I'm trying to say things in a certain way, I can lose focus on the game. But more often than not, if I'm talking in a sort of play by play mode or I'm trying to describe what I'm doing, maybe it kind of puts me in the zone where like it's more natural to play rather than overthinking everything.
Mhm.
So I've played the game enough where I'm used to, situations and what I need to do, and it's muscle memory at this point. So I think
Yeah.
talking actually probably more often would help me than hurt me in that situation.
Cool. I have one last question. Do you think you will carry on streaming for like until you're really old, like when you have grandkids and you can stream together and those kind
Pass
of
the
things?
torch. Um,
How do you feel your future in gaming and in streaming in general?
um, I'm just kind of heavily starting to invest in streaming in the last couple months, and really kind of try to grow uh, my channel in that way. But as far as how long I'm going to do it right now, I don't really have an endpoint in mind. I just want to continue to improve, everything about
Hmm.
it, as far as I can take it, really. I'm pretty sure Twitch and games are going to be around a lot longer than I will, or at least some form of that. Who knows what the future's going to hold, but
Yeah.
as long as I can do it, then I plan to do it because I do enjoy it quite a bit. And yeah, I mean, if you're passionate about something, then never quit doing it. That's what I say.
Yeah. It's it's a really really good note to wrap this up. So I'm gonna ruin it somehow.
Oh, come
No,
on.
I'm not going to do that. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for almost 1.5 hours.
Wow, really? It's been that. Holy moly, you're
Yeah.
right. I did not even look at the clock once.
What can I say? I'm fantastic company.
Hey, you are, man. I really enjoyed this. It was cool to talk to you.
I'm happy you had a good time. I obviously want people to have fun. I guess what's left to say is that have fun with streaming and hopefully your wedding will go great.